Hello and welcome to highlights from this week's NewsNow magazine. I'm Valdemar Pelser. With me is Kevin Jacobs, Senior Assistant Editor of NewsNow. Hello, Kevin.
Hello, good morning to you all.
And Kelly Beryl, Online Content Manager of NewsNow.
Good morning.
Kelly, trick question. I say the word Mozambique, our neighbouring country. What do you think of?
Fishing and cocktails on the beach, which is probably not the most socio-political view of the place.
Have you been?
I actually haven't, but I know a lot of youngsters. It has become quite a big hotspot for people of my age.
And they go for music festivals and for lazy weekends
pretty
under
much,
palm trees.
You know, I mean, it's cheap, it's easy, it's close by. It has that really, really nice tropical feel.
Okay, so the fact that you say this is one of the reasons why we put Mozambique on the cover this week. It's changed so much in the last 20 years. 20 years ago, the peace treaty was signed, the war ended, Kevin, and before that, it was a miserable place. Its fortunes have changed.
Well, yeah, it was a miserable place, and a really miserable place for going on 20 years. But remember that prior to that, it had this identity, which Kelly was talking about. I mean, 50 years ago, it was a great place for holidays for Southern African people as well. But of course, that war did a lot, that civil war that broke out around 75 and continued from going on 2 decades. It has left a history of poverty in that country, but there is a whole new energy and life in the potential economy.
Where's the wealth coming from?
That future wealth is from coal. There are billions of tons of coal in the ground, and of course they've been there for a few million years. And natural gas, offshore natural gas. And exploiting those natural resources, of course, will bring the country billions if they can get an infrastructure in place to handle it.
So one of the other stories we're looking at this week is Julius Malema, who was on Saturday. His guilty verdict was confirmed, a verdict from October, November last year, and we're waiting now to see whether the testimony to mitigate his sentence of expulsion from the ANC will yield anything. It could go both ways, couldn't it?
It could go either way. To many people, it doesn't really matter. Julius Malema appeared and he shot through the sky like this falling star, and in fact he was a falling star. Climbed for a while, burnt out and fell.
I think Daily Maverick compared him to Icarus in their most recent article.
Absolutely, this is the wings melted, he went too high.
But one mistake many people make in their assessment of Julius Malema is that he's stupid. He is not stupid.
But it's unlikely that he'll be at Mangaung in December, Kevin.
It seems unlikely unless he hovers around on the edges with some little army that he can get together. By army, I mean an army of supporters.
Of course.
Not an armed army.
And some of the questions that he asked remain, issues around, economic liberalization or economic emancipation and so forth. Some of those questions will still be with us. We do have a big answer, again, internationally. Die Antwoord, the Zef rap South African group, have made news again. They appeared on David Letterman's show on Monday, and we went onto the streets of Cape Town to see what some of you think about this latest venture.
I think that the art direction is incredible. It's obviously very dark. They seem to be getting darker and darker every video.
I think the videos will towards a Satanism side as well, especially with the rats in the background.
I don't like swearing, so yeah.
I wouldn't expect anything less from Die Antwoord.
But I like the beat.
I think that we've got our own, like in South Africa, we've got our own ideas of Die Antwoord. And I think that makes us really biased and very negative about it. But if it was any other band, I think we'd all kind of be geeking out. So I dig it.
Right, so for the first time, Die Antwoord has shown us their 7-year-old daughter called, quite implausibly, 16. Little girl, black-faced at some point in the music video, I think you freaky. Exploitation?
Well, it's not. First of all, it's not an entirely inappropriate name because she will be 16 at some point, and she'll get.
Not for too long, though.
Not for too long.
She's got a year in which it makes sense, and then she's going to get awkward from then on.
No, then she's 16 forever. That's great.
Which is not too bad for her own personality.
So, but to use her in a music video as a 7-year-old girl.
She's not being used in a sexualized way, which is usually the concern about the use of children in videos of this sort. But let me say that I think they are freakily great marketers of themselves. But
it looks as if they are bigger abroad than they are in South Africa. Why?
I think it's the novelty of something that's completely new, and there's a certain aspect of exoticism in there. I mean, I think we've seen it in
snakes and a deadline, and
this
in this particular
bizarre
video.
couple that's come out of nowhere, and they play this outrageous music with these outrageous images that are you know, so forward-thinking but so controversial at the same time.
There's less swearing in this one, though.
I couldn't quite make that out, except
Exactly, yes.
It's. I don't think that that profanity is really that important, because it gets hidden in the beat of this stuff.
Yeah.
This music is popular because two things, I believe. It has that thumping beat. It has a continuous hip hop beat, which is great stuff, and it's freakily weird.
So have a look at the video and tell us what you think. Just before we go, nationalization has been on the agenda for quite a while, and mining companies have been insisting that government gives them policy clarity. Will nationalization ever happen, or is it not policy? Whereas Gwede Mantashe, the Secretary General of the ANC, this week said that the ANC will debate it and will not be blackmailed into silence. The Minister for Planning, Trevor Manuel, had this to say at the mining indaba as we say goodbye.
The Minister of Mineral Resources, Susan Shabangu, was pretty forthright in saying that there will be nationalization over her dead body. Now, you couldn't ask for a clearer statement from somebody in government. The President has come out, the Deputy President has come out, but clearly it doesn't bleed in quite the same way in a headline as some young person making this demand time without number.
NewsNow, the magazine for busy people, on sale now.